What?
I'll do that.
Well, we're live, so.
Gonna go punch the curtains.
What? JP just walked out?
I think he just went
Walked
to go
out of the studio. He's done.
Man, one of the rare
Punch
times
his way through the earth.
one of the one of the rare times we end up going up going live early. But anyway, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys, girls, children of all ages, as we lose signal right on OBS.
Oh yeah.
There we go. We're back. Welcome back, everybody, to episode number 83 of No Bucks Given, right here on the Horny Goat YouTube channel and the Horny Goat Podcasting Network, where you can listen to us on any platform except Stitcher, because they're gone. We've got the wonderful Horny Goat crew here. Is the show No Bucks Given. We talk about anything and everything we want in the world that we find entertaining. We're just here to, punch holes in the wall. And speaking of which, we got JP, Heather, and Basement with us this evening. Wow. How's everyone doing?
Well, you guys are just, fuck you.
I didn't say anything.
I just say you.
You said you guys.
Oh, shut the fuck up.
No, you know what? Now I'm gonna say it.
That's not been a good day in this household. And yes,
we're safe base, but we're not walls.
But god damn it, I did not punch a hole. I didn't intend to punch a hole.
That's better. I was going to say, because you told the story where you said you literally punched a hole in the
wall. Well,
I'm just thinking he's fucking.
My face.
I think he's like Bill Clinton. I did not punch a hole in the wall. Yes, you did.
Okay. I did punch a hole in the wall. However, I didn't do it on purpose.
I thought it was Heather.
No. I would never hit Heather. No. Now you guys are just you guys are turning me into fucking Russell Brand over here. Motherfuckers.
We'll get to him.
I'm sure you will. I can't wait to fucking get to him. Fucking people.
So having a good weekend?
It has been a good weekend. Just today was just, and then Wendy's not feeling good. It was just a rough day here at the household. So I just don't give a fuck anymore.
I am just don't give a fuck anymore.
Yes.
Heather's. She probably took like 2 gummies after today.
No,
but and if before anybody says anything, I did not beat Heather because she probably would have beat the shit out of me.
I was gonna say he wouldn't be here if that were the case.
Sorry, I got the reenactment of the accident on the stream, so we're good.
There you go.
I have done that, everybody. I've been literally
to that level.
Yeah, but it wasn't recently. But I've literally done that.
No, this was during his drinking days.
Yeah.
So you're good at reupholstery, is what I'm hearing.
So I was drinking today. Maybe that's.
This is Jerry's drinking days. So I was drinking.
Pivot. All right, here we go. Let's roll.
I do want to apologize to Heather. I did already, but.
I'm still waiting for my apology.
Same.
Fuck you. Apologize to you for what?
Like I said, Basement, I think we're in the clear. We're not at walls, so.
You guys are fucking brutal.
No bucks given.
I would never hit my daughter. Like, I would never punch her. I would spank her.
I believe you. Just I don't know about the way you said it was just very.
I know. I did not.
Off. I believe you.
I would never hit my daughter. I mean, I would.
Horrible. Nobody but me got hurt in this process. Let me put that
house.
Plain and clear.
The house.
Right?
Oh man, if it was from the world of Brave Little Toaster, I think would fucking scream.
I didn't really get hurt, but my shoulders hurt. I had a workout today. I'll tell you what.
Why do I have I feel feeling you're the type of person who'd punch a hole in the wall like fuck cramp.
It was me finding. I was throwing shit. So I was trying to find the softest thing.
The what?
Hold.
Softest?
Oh my god! I'm done. Just go ahead. Move on with the show.
Onwards, McDuff.
I was trying to find the softest thing in the house, so I didn't fucking break anything. But I couldn't, and I think that's what escalated my anger even more, is because I couldn't find anything soft to throw. It was frustrating as fuck.
You need a throw pillow, like 50 of them.
When I get angry, I think Heather can control me when I'm angry. I don't know. Well, I don't know. My brother could, and he was 230 pounds. But I get retard strength when I get angry.
Wouldn't that mean
I
you're?
kind of want to say fuck all the subjects we're talking about today and just let's just keep on going off these fucking tangents and just like let's see how this fucking goes.
I did tell Heather this today. I think I do need help, man. I've had to go talk to somebody literally for this before. Not just anger issues, but I'm angry at the dumbest thing.
Mm-hmm.
Which is just.
I agree with that.
I admit it. That's why I feel like a fucking dumbass.
That's why Five Nights at Freddy's is like perfect therapy for you.
Yeah, well, yeah, but
Punch-Out.
I think that would be.
Or even a shooting game would be good therapy
No,
for you.
because-
Oh my god, no.
Then I might
He played
turn
Call
into
of Duty, he would turn into a fucking tornado of rage.
I might turn
You ever
into
hear fucking
That's just the chat.
Rayshawn playing Call of Duty? He's fucking
Yeah.
he
Just gonna fuck over
Super
here and
rage.
keep fucking with my shit. I'm gonna fucking beat the fuck out of this motherfucker.
I
This
don't think.
corner camping
don't
motherfucking
think-
bitch.
I don't think me playing that game you'd probably give me flashbacks more than anything.
Yeah, it's kind of I was worried a little bit more too.
But
Oh, not anymore when you're fucking
I will
playing as
say- I will
Nicki
say
Minaj.
this- I will say this: Five Nights at Freddy's. I think y'all are onto something because if you ever watch me play that, I might yell,
Oh,
but
I most certainly have.
I don't, and I've done it on this channel, but I don't get angry. Does that make sense?
The trailer would say otherwise.
It's so weird because, like, I think like your anger is coming from like a place of competition,
Yeah.
competitive anger. Yet you're playing against like a computer, or you're watching a game that you have no way to control.
Yeah. Yeah.
By the-
Exactly.
By the way, real quick side note here. So for those of you who are listening or watching us on YouTube or other audio platforms, you can now watch us in full for all of our podcasts in the roundtable on Spotify through their video service. So if you guys want to ever tune in that, you have those options there. And apparently, talk about fucking numbers, how things work out. This is like our 999th video.
Yeah, we're right at the tipping point.
So the next stream that we do,
Wednesday will be
1000th video on the channel.
So what you're saying is,
We need to do moving out too again, and all of us just be completely obliterated.
I'm down.
You're more up than anything right now. But I'm down for that. Basement.
I will move out with you.
And play the game. That works. We got Tim, we got Alpha joining us in the Chizat. Hope you guys and Lone Wolf. What's up, everybody? Appreciate it. Yeah, we Tim says why I've slowed down playing COD gives me anger management. I've seen Tim angry, and it's entertaining. It's very entertaining. It's the same level as our stuff that goes on. But
I feel like I just get more disappointed than angry, in myself and in the game.
I'm not mad.
Disappointed.
I'm just disappointed. Which when you heard that from your parent, always hurt the soul a little bit more.
Yeah.
Like,
Which
even
I
if I
never
know-
understood. I mean,
Yeah.
I flat out did not give a shit about what my parents thought when I was a teenager.
I always cared. I'm a sensitive soul.
I did care.
Anyways, when we're playing Call of Duty, and they and they're like,
What we gotta do? We gotta play prop hunt. Man.
I deleted that game again. It's
I
too
did
massive.
too.
I had to download shit, and I'm like, okay, either I keep this on and delete everything else I actually want to play, or I keep this fucking massive paperweight on my PS5. Every time I look at, it kills me inside.
Paperweight. It's
Call of Duty. There is no reason that game file needs to be that massive.
Yeah, 160 gigs or something. It's the size of 2 games.
Hogwarts has better. Hogwarts Legacy has triple the amount of graphics to it that fucking Call of Duty has,
The thing,
and
that
it's
kills me,
literally half the file size.
the thing that kills me with Call of Duty is like the content. Like You can warrant like a large file size because of content, and it's like, okay, well, time to play the same match I played 807 times.
Exactly.
You know what's killing me?
What?
We're talking about Call of Duty.
What do you want to talk about, baby?
I know what he wants to talk about. He wants to talk about the return of the great one, the people's champ, The Rock.
Yeah.
So,
I like.
yeah, we actually have a decent amount of wrestling stuff to go over today. So, I mean, this will be in the pocket of WWE stuff because there's two things I had listed on here for WWE related stuff. And this is stuff we kind of think talked about either during the HGGM stream or last night's stream, which you guys could really go check out. But it was the idea of Rock coming back, and you know, he did the one-off appearance on SmackDown this past Friday with Austin Theory. Fun stuff, huh? Pat McAfee, El People's Elbow. What's that?
I don't think it's a one-off.
Well, as far as we know for now, it is. But
I think he's going to be around for a while.
So that's a great segue. There was an interview he did with Pat McAfee that I think came out the same day, where basically he had stated that him versus Roman Reigns was locked in for WrestleMania this past year at SoFi Stadium in California, but that he wanted to do something. They were trying to do something like bigger, as unprecedented and over the top and blah blah blah, and they couldn't quite figure out and couldn't quite come to what that agreement was, and so they put their pencils down, according to him, and they said, "Hey, we got the merger coming up." He goes, "But I am open for maybe something at WrestleMania 40."
You should have an Inferno match in Maui.
That'd be fucking hilarious. I would love to see that. Get Disney's Moana to where you are. So this obviously is opening up the doors to the fact of talks once again of Rock coming back and wrestling Roman at WrestleMania, and then I think we started getting really deep into the creative hole of like, okay, well, how the fuck do you do this? Do you do? Because I think we're all on the same page here that if Rock's not doing it, it's Cody, most likely Cody and Roman again at Mania. So,
Which is why I don't think they're doing Cody and Roman at this.
Just for me, I prefer Rock versus Roman at Mania, and I prefer no titles on the line. And like we said before, for the fucking the head of the table title or whatever you want to fucking call it, just for the status.
Tita de Tabla.
Tita de Tabla.
I agree 100% with baseball. But how are you going to get rid of the titles? Everybody says that they shouldn't change a title on a guy like Roman Reigns unless it's at WrestleMania.
Which I think is horseshit.
I do too.
And
I agree that it needs to be one of the bigger pay-per-views, but it doesn't always have to be WrestleMania.
I'm going with Royal Rumble. Royal Rumble's had some fucking huge matches in the past.
I get you. My point is WrestleMania has become such a big thing.
Mm-hmm.
And Connor, you can attest to this.
Mm-hmm.
The way that they build things now, they do revolve it around WrestleMania. But what they do is this is why you see these long ass stupid fucking reigns anymore, because they want to wait until fucking WrestleMania to actually do a title change.
The thing is, they've done things even last year.
I don't understand that. Like,
Even
you know what would have really been good is if just one fucking time something happens. We talked about this last week. He like stumbles on the ropes, whether he's kayfabing it or not, and book it from there. Have him. It'll be kayfabe either way, but have it. You know what I mean.
What I would do.
Him. You don't need the title on fucking Roman to face Rock.
What I would do.
Doing that, it's stupid. What are they fighting over? Are they fighting over the title, or are they fighting over a fucking what do you call it? The tribal chief thing, which
Tabla.
You can't have cake and eat it too.
What I would do with this.
It ruins it. I'm sorry, and I paused. It ruins the title when you fucking do that. You're diminishing what the title means. So the only way that the title means anything now is if it's on somebody from fucking Roman's family. It's just the dumbest thing fucking ever. Dumb. It's stupid. It makes no sense. People don't get that fucking concept.
And that's where you don't want to have a marriage between the head of the table and the title. That
Exactly.
needs to be divorced. What I would do at Royal Rumble is I would have Cody Rhodes beat Roman Reigns, but I would have the match go in a way where it's not he beat him because the Rock showed up, but I could have Roman Reigns blame The Rock, even though he won. Cody Rhodes won pretty much fair and square. Like you could have interference from both angles. You could have The Rock show up. You could have Jey Uso. You could have Paul Heyman involved. All that shit.
Sorry, I just want to pinstripe on this one first, or put a pin on this real quick. Just at one point, I'm loving this idea. What I would do is, if you're gonna do that, have rock bottom Solo Sikoa as they're about to do picture for picture the exact moment and how Roman retained that Mania, and then that way it's like recreation. So continue.
Yeah, that would make sense. Yeah, and then you have Roman blaming now The Rock for his loss, even though he just lost basically fair and square, but he didn't have access to his fucking bloodline to help him win. And then you're at a perfect pivoting point with the Royal Rumble winner being able to challenge Cody. So you can book that match, and you already have the match with Roman and The Rock booked at Mania. You have the main event of night 1 and night 2.
You do. You don't need the fucking title to be the fucking main event. I don't know what people don't fucking understand. That right there fucking makes complete fucking sense to me.
The thing
That's exactly get out of my fucking head.
To your
into my pants.
To your point, JP, I think that people have, whether it's WWE's fault or not, or just like fantasy booking, whatever they have, people always see Mania as like the crescendo, that it's the end of a story, that it's the end, it's the caveat, it's the transition point, it's the pivot, it's a major milestone moment for a lot of people, or a lot of their careers, or whatever way you want to shape it. And they don't.
Go ahead, finish, and then
they don't see other venues as opportunities to do that. Hell,
which is so stupid.
Royal
Honestly,
Rumble,
I hate that.
Royal Rumble, they started to do that. That's when Rock won the title back the last time, right? They did it at the Royal Rumble. The Rumble, and I think the Rumble and SummerSlam are starting to get up there as far as like yeah, they're part of the Big Four, but they're really becoming in SummerSlam.
I personally think it's a Big Three.
Yeah,
Survivor Series is not part of the equation.
It's fallen down the waistline, which is sad.
They consider Survivor Series.
Right.
It's just it's actually the second oldest pay-per-view.
It is.
That's still running.
Yep.
Yeah. At WWE.
Which is funny because they almost got rid of it a few years ago. But anyway, the last thing I was going to say was the Rumble is also, ironically, as far as I know, the only other venue for the Big Four so far that they're doing in another stadium. They're doing it in Tampa in a big stadium field, much like their bigger WrestleMania shows. And hell, just like they did.
Which is fine.
Where was Rumble this year? Was it Texas?
Yes.
No.
Oh, I don't know. I can't remember.
Houston.
Yeah, Houston. Okay.
Nailed
it.
What is it? SummerSlam?
No,
the guy just like the idea that we're floating is kind of capitalizing on everything. Everybody knows the Roman Reigns reign has to come to an end.
Yes.
Yeah.
And this is where you get the most value for it. You get to push Cody to the moon by giving him the championship and him the one dethroning Roman, but you still have gas in the tank for Roman to have the exact same level of worth at WrestleMania, and then let him just disappear for a while.
No, you're actually right, because that's one thing I was worried about too, is like whenever you have these long runs of whatever, and I worry about it with Gunther a little bit, but I think it's easier with him because he'll go right into the fucking world title program if they're smart, is what do you do after? Right? You have this big thing that happens, and even if you know where it's heading, and you know it's like, okay, it has to end at this point, like it's, okay, well, how do you capitalize on it? It was the one thing I was worried about with the Undertaker's undefeated streak, and it's kind of in the same vein of this, of like, okay, Roman's going, let's presume, for all intents and purposes, that Roman is going to lose to Cody, okay? So how does Roman, for lack of a better phrase, come back from that? And I think
how does he save face?
This situation that you just pitched covers that completely.
I can't stress. I think this is perfect booking for the end of the Roman Reigns reign. I like it because you leave you leave him leaving on a high note of a huge WrestleMania moment. Let's not fucking kid ourselves. The moments are going to be immortalized almost more than the fucking matches.
Yeah.
And yes, y'all have a match with Rock. It won't be anything to be like, oh my god, wrestling's amazing. But the moment and the atmosphere in the arena will fucking last longer than any match that's going on that night.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes. So it doesn't have to happen. I'm sick and tired of these WrestleMania moments, and that's what they're. Another thing.
Well, I mean, last year, remember, with fucking Sami Zayn, why aren't they waiting till WrestleMania? Jey Uso and all that. Oh, they're gonna just throw Cody in here. There was a huge, and to me, they mishandled the last WrestleMania because both options, Jey Uso and Sami Zayn, in my opinion, were better than Cody Rhodes. They at least had more build to both.
Mm-hmm.
I can agree to that, but I can understand the Cody Rhodes story. It wasn't about the feud. It was about two stories clashing, and I mean, does the Royal Rumble winner have to have a storyline with the champion?
They don't, but I
Okay,
would say
so-
the guy facing him being embroiled in a storyline that's arguably more interesting kind of takes the I guess the oomph out of the match.
A little bit.
But if that was all done to get to what we're proposing here for the next Mania,
I'm sold.
then I'm great with every decision that was made.
yeah.
Yeah.
Me too.
Cool.
I do agree.
So, on the flip side of that,
Mhm.
more WWE news on more of a business side of things, the actual business side of things, is WWE as of Tuesday, this past Tuesday, no longer part of
Well, it's still WWE.
well, it's still WWE, but it's not completely controlled by a McMahon anymore. It's now under TKO Enterprises, which is a combined parent company that oversees both UFC and WWE. It was made official. And
I think this would be a good thing.
well,
Mhm.
I was about to say 100 employees just got laid off.
You know what? Sometimes you get addition by subtraction. I'm not saying I'm happy for anybody that gets laid off from the job. It's just sometimes people are there that don't add anything. I don't know if this is the case with WWE, but you can see that they had 1 trillion writers, but you don't need 1 trillion writers for wrestling. You
Well,
really don't.
As of right now, there
They
hasn't
had a
been
lot of legacy hires, I think, in WWE.
there was no well, we talked about this in the stream that what's her name, Dana Warrior, got let go.
Who cares?
Yeah, I was gonna say it
Man,
wasn't
Vince really looks like he's about to rape me.
He does. Several decisions within WWE were several divisions within WWE were gutted, with mass cuts coming to teams such as Insights and Analytics, Marketing, Graphic Design, WWE Network, Podcasting, and Live Events. Executives no longer with the company include CFO Frank Riddick III, VP of International and Platform Strategy Andy Levine, EVP of Developmental and Digital Jamie Horowitz, and Brand Director Kimberly, I can't pronounce that last name, and EVP and Head of Marketing Catherine Newman. Dana Warrior, the widow of legendary Hall of Famer Ultimate Warrior, was also cut from the company. Although there were rumors of roster cuts, reportedly there were 0 talent releases on Friday, which would focus just on office staff. That being said, it's unclear if Endeavor is done with making cuts with the pro wrestling organization or the UFC after this merger. I would suspect there's going to be. I'm feeling NXT is going to get hit, if anything.
I don't think anybody. Well, they might cut some talent, but they're not going to cut talent. They're not going to cut talent that you know.
Not from NXT.
Well,
no.
fuck,
What I'm
I
more
was-
excited for is the potential for like a talent merger
That's
where
what I was
there's
thinking.
a place to go for like UFC fighters that are because UFC your actual career is fucking 10 years if you can if that right.
You will not see people like Shotzi Blackheart cut. Because Triple H will have a say-so on who they cut. Vince will also have a say-so. But it's bottom line. I think, and I know that the CEO listens to Vince. I mean, Vince has been doing this for fucking ever, right? But Triple H might be able to persuade Vince, which they have a pretty good relationship.
To what, cut talent?
To make
Keep
sure
talent.
to make sure that they don't cut. Well, these guys make it too much.
That's what
Well,
I'm
there
saying.
is some talent they could probably. There is fat to be trimmed in WWE for sure.
There is, but it's the people that Triple H is not using, or probably
Yeah.
will never use.
Well, that's why I'm thinking NXT
That's what I'm
lower
getting at.
bottom of the barrel on that side, and the main roster will probably get.
But
some
I think like when it
shakeups.
comes down to NXT, they're gonna look at that as like a breeding ground for guys from UFC that want to get into WWE.
It's not a bad
If
idea.
anything, you might get some of the low end talent cut now, to push in guys that are kind of like either not doing great in UFC or their careers coming to a close. And that, I mean, it's just like, for me, it's a perfect marriage because you're going to get a lot better potential in-ring work from people that know how to work, that can also
Exactly,
take
you have
bumps
you already
because
have
they
the trained
legitimately.
athlete. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want to know what I think? This is what I think. I think that
We're waiting.
the new wave of wrestling would be storytelling through cage matches. That's what I would do.
I could see them having like a division that kind of breaks the mold of it being
Yeah.
Well, that's
a
another
bit
story
more
that's-
realistic.
That's another story that's coming out. Triple H is thinking about doing divisions.
I
Just
did.
like in UFC.
I did hear there was rumblings of like. I think we talked about this on one stream or whatever, but not only new championships, but new divisions and specifically new weight class divisions, which I was like,
Yeah, that's what I
that's
mean.
a head
I-
scratcher.
And it's not just
I
gonna
am.
be- It's just not, and it's not going to be just cruiserweight and.
No, I heard like
I'm of
yeah.
two minds with weight class divisions in wrestling because I think, in one end, you kind of kill the
No.
old. No, I think you hurt the old version of wrestling, the David versus Goliath aspect of things, where you have a smaller guy going off against a bigger guy, but that's kind of played out at the same time.
Yeah,
How much
Okay,
do you want to
we
see?
don't want another Rey Mysterio versus Big Show.
No.
See, I think
And I feel like
I-
that's one thing, but
I-
when you have a division where it cuts off people that are like 210 pounds from fighting people that are 230, I would not want that.
it
No, it would probably only go from like 206 to
It's-
210.
No, it 200 pounds on up or two. I can't even remember. I think
So like
it's
you never have a
220
Finn Balor versus
220
Seth Rollins. for some
220
reason.
on up. 220 on up is
Heavyweight.
heavyweight.
I feel like the difference in style and size is something that to be celebrated in wrestling when fighting each other, not to be something that needs to be
Like a
Well,
like a
205
category.
live.
Even with the weight classes, you can still get the different sizes. Because if it sticks to just weight, you can get a guy who is 6'6" at 220, but then also have a guy who's like 6 foot even at 220.
Truth be
Or
told,
less.
I
You know
don't.
what WWE? Go ahead. Go ahead.
I don't want any more titles.
That's also true.
And so, like, if you like,
I want less
even-
titles, to be honest.
even if you take okay, like let's say that even everything is that I'm totally fine with the idea of weight classes. That means you'd be introducing theoretically at least one new championship that would just be lost in the shuffle of all the titles they got going on right now. It'd be basically
Or they
like,
would change the titles. They would have to
Well,
have world heavyweight,
Okay, I
and the
think-
Intercontinental would be mid card or whatever the fucking midweight,
well, no,
middleweight
on the belt it
championship.
says Intercontinental Heavyweight Champion, and
they would change it.
They changed
Yeah.
it.
yeah, but that's what I
They
mean.
would,
It's just
they would retire that and introduce something else in its.
I find the weight class deviation in wrestling to be not
unnecessary.
a smart move.
I think it's unnecessary.
I think it needs to happen. Only
I-
for the, only for the simple fact is I think WWE might go to like a league style someday soon.
I don't think you can. Yeah, I don't think you can heavily change WWE without the risk of ruining WWE.
Hmm.
I think it has to stay different enough from UFC to make itself a different product. Yes,
Right.
it's fake. Yes, it's. But like, if they start modeling it after UFC rules and regulations, while it's fake and everyone knows it, does it really matter if a guy that's 180 pounds fights a guy that's 215?
The only time I actually appreciated a storyline around that was, I don't know if you guys remember this, but this is like back in 03. Matt Hardy was doing everything he could to like lose weight to make the cruiserweight division.
They wore that fucking black rubber
I
suit.
fucking love that shit. Like you just see him
But
doing like
this-
these skits and everything, and that was fun as shit.
The only thing I don't like is the extremes of you're gonna have a guy that's 130 pounds fight a guy that's 420. That to
Yeah.
me is
That's good
horse
shit, is what that is right there.
That to me
That'll
is
never
horseshit.
happen.
But
That's why I booked it twice with Omos
It's not
and
going to be
Mysterio.
Mike Dudley versus Yokozuna anymore.
No, they're not gonna. That's not what they're gonna do.
Maybe this is just my opinion.
no,
and-
I'm
and
just saying that's what like the current model allows. That's where I could see the benefit of having weight classes. Other than that, I don't know how I feel about it.
I'm gonna say this is gonna sound like an extreme statement, but I feel like this is one of those things that while you can still work around it and whatnot, it is gonna put like limitations on things creatively. Like if you're gonna pigeonhole an entire division based off of weight, and for the record, I said the same thing about the cruiserweight division too, and I love cruiserweights.
Okay, so I don't think they're pigeonholing because they're giving them an opportunity to put on weight if they want to. And I understand that like a person like Rey Mysterio's never ever fucking going to be fucking 6'4" and 250 fucking pounds. But I think they do. Like Roy Jones Jr. started out as a middleweight and he ended up as a fucking heavyweight. So I mean,
I feel like I don't trust, and this is from the track record of WWE, to present weight classes on equal grounds, where you can have the most popular guy in the business be a fucking cruiserweight and be treated like the most popular guys in business, because it probably will never happen. And that's where I think that's where the pigeonholing statement comes in.
I agree. I agree. And it sucks, but I do agree.
Now then again, WWE fucking can lie anytime they want. So for instance, I don't know LA Knight's weight, but say he's 190 and the cutoff is 215 for heavyweight or
Just don't
220
use
for
that much.
heavyweight.
Mhm.
They're gonna say, oh, he's been working out in the gym and he put on the weight and he looks exactly the same. But then it kind of like obliterates the fucking even reason to have it. I don't know. I feel like I don't trust WWE to bring the best out of that idea.
I don't even I don't see it being I don't see the benefit to them.
I'm not.
I'm pretty sure there could be, but I don't think they
I'm
will.
not, okay, I should rephrase. I'm not saying I think it should happen. I like the concept if they can do it and do it right, but I agree that I don't think they can.
What would be actually what I would do, and this would
I think
be
that's
a
where they're
great
going to
idea.
Try to go though.
This would be a great idea. Leave Raw and SmackDown the way they are.
Mm.
NXT introduce the weight division of things, and have NXT introduce people from UFC that are trying to transition.
That I would be
that would
opposed
set
to.
NXT. That would set
Yeah.
NXT apart and different than the others.
Yeah. That actually, I actually would really like that because you could have your cake and eat it too in that situation. We could have the weight classes and whatnot, and then they transition to the main roster where things are a little bit more open, and they have to break outside their weight classes a little bit depending on.
NXT being a middle between UFC and WWE would be fucking great in my mind.
You know what? I wouldn't be surprised if that eventually happens.
That's that's 100% what I think should happen.
Or there's some sort of like, is there like an NXT version for UFC now?
Well, UFC, there's a bunch of different versions of UFC.
They do, and it's that Ultimate Fighter that they do.
Well, the Ultimate Fighter is kind of like a
It's
reality TV show, but
So
it still
it's
involves real
essentially-
fighting and stuff.
Essentially, Ultimate Fighter is a cross between the original NXT and the fucking real world.
Yeah, it's the
Yeah,
like
okay, so
back when
right.
NXT was like really focusing on like the behind the scenes storyline of Baron Corbin and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. The only other thing I wanted to say on WWE stuff. Oh, sorry, Heather. Any other things you wanted to pipe in with?
No,
No,
Uh,
she said no. I think she.
I agree with the weight class thing being in the training grounds, so to speak,
do
with
agree with
NXT.
That makes.
But I'm not opposed to them doing the weight class shit either on the main roster because of the fact that it's gonna force them to have to break out these younger stars that are around the same weight as these top stars, and get them to be known at the same time.
It's in theory it's good, but WWE's it's in the
Yeah.
hand of
Yeah,
WWE.
execution.
Execution is never going to be that good.
Fuck.
But
WWE had the ability to do WCW versus WWE and on and
saw what
paper.
To be fair, a lot of that was not on the WWE. That was on the superstars that decided to sit there and take their guaranteed checks and sit
Oh no,
their
no,
ass.
I know.
But I
they
also
could've
think
waited a
WWE,
year.
yeah, that's the one thing. I think the hype would have been just not as strong, but still it's stronger than the shit that they pulled off
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. When they did this, when that was happening, the 2000 when
Yes.
Yeah.
when
Yeah,
Vince
the
showed up
acquisition.
when Vince or not
Shane
Vince, but
McMahon.
Shane McMahon showed up at Nitro, they had a real opportunity, and I'm like, oh my god, they're really gonna fucking do this. They're really gonna try. Dude, this is
The
when
invasion
this is
angle.
right before the brand split. So WWE's like, I'm like, they're gonna do a fucking brand split where WWE and WCW are gonna be facing off all the fucking time, and they're gonna do exactly what fucking Eric Bischoff tried to do to Vince with each fucking show. It would have worked for about, I don't know, maybe
A year.
maybe.
I think it's
2
one
or
of the
3
biggest
years.
missed opportunities in wrestling history
Yeah,
It is.
because they didn't try to do it with Raw and SmackDown.
But and then again, and I do kind of agree with Jim Cornette with why he'd be upset. He even said that would have fucking worked, but everybody knew that fucking shit was fake by that time because of fucking
The
what is-
curtain shirt. The
I
curtain
think
call.
you can always sit there, like, honestly, this is the thing that pissed me off because you can always sit there and get angry at the clock, even if the curtain call didn't happen.
right.
It was gonna change anyway. People would all know
Yeah.
everything's fake.
It was. But I'm just
Um,
saying, I do agree that if it hadn't, they could have kept this WCW
And-
versus WWE.
and-
Well, it would be
And would-
WCW and WWE right now instead of Raw and SmackDown.
And what sucks was a year from when the invasion angle ended, right? 1 year after it ended, came in Ric Flair,
Mhm.
the NWO,
hmm
An invasion angle. would have
Eric
been-
Bischoff, and Scott Steiner. Like
was such a-
literally.
Yeah, it was.
But half, 90% of that list that you mentioned is said, yeah, no, we're just going to go start
No,
take a
but-
look at our
But like
chat."
the problem is WWE wouldn't wait. They couldn't wait because
Yeah.
I think they felt like we have to strike now. The iron's hot. The iron stayed hot. You could have waited the year.
He could have. I think he could have
Um,
waited longer than this.
But I
fucking-
think part of it was like
If
we're
you
gonna
really
spite the
did-
wrestlers that left
And the way
originally.
that- A way that they could have sat there and really pulled at the heartstrings of people is kept WCW on air on its separate little
that
wavelength
would have
there.
been such good fucking story.
It would have been
Yep.
because you know what, people would have seen. Okay, they're still on the air. They're still going, even though Shane owns them now. They're still
Mhm.
WCW.
And
And
Vince,
all the
you know,
people that were wrestling for WCW stay with the contracts
was
they
the- that
had.
was
and
actually
would
the
be
plan.
attentive, but
The
That was actually-
original plan
yeah.
was to turn Raw into Nitro, and that's why they did the Booker T versus Buff Bagwell match.
Yeah.
It was a field test with Arn Anderson and I think it was it Kevin Kelly? No, it was
No.
fuck, who was it on commentary with Arn? I can't remember, but anyway, it might have been Mark Madden. But the point was that was the reason they did that was because they were playing with the idea of what if we keep WCW, turn Raw into Nitro basically, and SmackDown would be the WWE only show, and then they basically do the brand split so they continue the rivalry between WWE and WCW. And
But I
then
think
shit
it
fell
would've
apart.
I think it would have been vice versa. I think Vince would never let Raw be not the.
Oh no, that's from the mouth of Pritchard.
I don't know if it would matter because it's still owned by them.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but I don't think Vince would. That's just me personally. WWE would.
I said
be
the
in-
same thing. I'm like, I would.
Regardless, they ended up trying to do the same thing with the brand split, Raw and SmackDown. Failed terribly at that. They failed so many fucking times at trying to do a brand split that I don't know. Whatever they failed, but they kept
Hey,
with.
I love the
That's
first
what-
one. The first one from like 03
It had
to
a life
06.
expectancy of a year, and it was good enough for that long, I think, or around that.
03 to 06
And then
was
it
good
all
shit.
fell apart. I don't understand why it's such a hard concept to be like, treat it like a sport. The brand split where you're trading people if you want to, and then you build up to Survivor Series,
for a
and Survivor
while.
Series needs to be worth something. It's not like I don't understand who's just like. Sometimes I really question. Then this is why the fucking writer's strike. I think half of them are fucking retarded.
Yes. I agree.
Speaking of which, and talking about failing in wrestling, that switches us from one wrestling company to.
This again.
Yes.
You brought this up, JP.
No, I know I did. I can't wait for this one.
Our good
So
friends over
this is actually funny because I brought up the fact that what's his face? What's his nuts?
Tony Khan.
Yep.
No, not Tony Khan.
CM Punk?
Fucking Will Ospreay got a tattoo with the attendance record on
he
his
did?
arm.
What an idiot.
Yeah, so if you don't know what we're talking about, and I don't have the thing in front of me. I don't know if I shared it.
They over-reported the attendance by about 10,000 people.
For all
There
in,
was a
in Wembley.
report put out, and they went to the actual English fucking people that fucking keep track of this shit. Okay, so don't fucking come at me. This is actually a story.
Go after the English counters.
Well, it was from the London, whatever the fuck it was.
London. Hi, I'm here for the London, whatever the fuck it was.
So apparently they were like 89% capacity or sold tickets. So what they're basing this whole fucking argument is over, and this is the argument of who had the most people, is based on paid customers. Is what the argument is.
Yeah, so I'm looking here, and it says here, by July 28th, prior to any matches being announced, the event had sold 70,400 tickets with a gate of $9 million. AEW claimed the event broke the record for the number of tickets sold professional wrestling event, with a reported 80,846 tickets distributed as of August 18th.
Now,
there's the
way that London does it is who goes through the turnstiles. They don't give a fuck who bought and paid for a fucking ticket. They want to know what the actual attendance is. So they did that, and they came up.
Yep, which is what I have here. So it says here that the Brent Council, the local authorities for the borough located in Greater London, responded to the request and stated that the turnstile number, actual ticketed fans in the venue that night, was 72,265.
I don't give a fuck if the 82,000 fucking people or the 96,000 people paid fucking whatever. It doesn't matter who was in the fucking event. They're there seeing it. So they're in a fucking attendance, which is what that fucking means. This is my point. This is why this fucking thing drives me fucking nuts.
So they're looking at like these tickets for comped.
I may work one of the concessions, but I'm definitely gonna go sneak a peek.
Yeah, and you know what's funny? Like I went to Mania 32, and it was that 101,000 or something like that. Like even I knew that, like, seeing that many people there, I'm like, well, you're probably taking into consideration the crew, the staff of the venue.
Well, what they did is they took into account the amount of people that were comp tickets that probably entered through a different way. But I'm looking at 9,000, 10,000 people comp tickets. What in the fucking Christ?
Well, those comp tickets are people, Tony fucking, they do deals.
Yeah, that's a lot of comp tickets and a lot of people not going through the turnstiles.
I get it. It's a lot of corporate tickets. They get comped all the time.
But you still, like, for most comp tickets, you get the ticket, you go through the turnstiles. This is not just comped, it's entering through the back of the arena, side entrances. It's like 9,000 people entering that one.
Again, are they watching what's going on? Are they watching the event?
Right.
Who cares if they're in attendance?
Well, the bottom line is, who gives a shit about any of this?
I was about to say.
What I really wanted to get at with this is who gives a fuck about who's attending?
But there's one thing I will say, no matter who's attending, no matter what's happening, what type of fucking cum rag do you have to be to get attendance tattooed on you?
Because, Will Ospreay, I can understand why he did it. Because
I
Will
understand.
Ospreay is from England, and they've never had an event that big.
He should have
So
just
you're gonna get a
As
tattooed
far
a
as
numbered
wrestling
attendance.
goes, as far as wrestling goes,
Ew.
do the
Body.
date, you idiot.
Is my answer.
I wouldn't put it on my body either.
Do the
but-
date, you idiot.
I would have done the date.
Yeah.
Or I wouldn't have done nothing. First of all,
Like the all
because
logo or something. I don't know.
it's just it seems so stupid, and it's one of those things that feed into the internet. Fucking weird WWE, AEW, fucking tribal hate each other audience. Like, you're sparking that crowd. You know you're doing it because you're part of that crowd.
So what
you
I was
British cunt.
I was about to say something about that. So like, as far as like my stance on this thing, on one hand, like it's still a shit ton of people that still showed up. As far as like whether I still think like visually look fantastic, and I think regardless, AEW should I tip my hat to them for what they were able to pull off. However, and I don't give a rat's ass, but like when you have like fucking certain fanboys that are so up people's asses about how AEW, how great it is and whatnot. And again, it's not even like the fact that like this is that big of a deal in grand scheme of things, but it's more like pulling the rug out from underneath people. It's like, well, your boy just lied about 10,000 tickets.
I feel like the
dick measuring contest that I can't fucking stand.
Well, I feel like the problem is AEW has taken every fucking chance to try to one-up WWE in every way, and they're so vocal about it. They fucking built that fan base of trolls.
Yeah, I know.
The fucking, and they do it at every chance. It's like it's what turned me off from
annoying.
them more than anything else.
Yeah.
The fact that they can't just let things go, can't be their own company. They always have to have that fucking WWE cock in their mouth and be like, I don't like the way it tastes.
Yeah.
All the fucking time, and this is the same thing. They put these fires out there because they knew the fan base exists. We're gonna talk about the attendance all the fucking time so that we're better than WWE. And then when this type of shit happens, it's like, oh my god, they're responding that it's not the real attendance. It's like, what do you expect to happen?
It doesn't.
It's the same thing that Marvel did with She-Hulk and Velma and all that shit. They make an angry fan base. They make an angry fan base, and then they call out the angry fan base they made.
This is one of those things where, like, honest to God, in the grand scheme of things, it's really not that big a deal. But because of the toxicity of some of the fans of the company, it becomes this big, larger than life. It's like, oh my God, flip the fucking table.
So
But how much of a queef do you have to be to tattoo
What I
the
get from
the mountain of
AEW
arm?
fans, what I get from AEW fans is they're more worried about the fucking ratings and how many people are showing up at these shows rather than what they're being given as a fucking product.
Yeah, because all I see is attendance, whether it's going up or down. For every fucking show, it's like, are you a fan of the fucking analytics, or are you a fan of the actual thing you're watching?
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with appreciating the fans showing up, and I applaud them for doing that.
However,
But I don't need to see it flashed on my fucking screen. I mean, I think AEW flashes it on their screen, if I remember right. And they just flash it
They're
on
just-
there real quick. And
They,
it's like,
they
I
are
don't fucking care.
they're fueling those fires as often as they can because it's the loudest voice. Not knowing that it's the most fucking annoying voice to anybody that might be a prospective fan. I find it so unbelievably annoying for it to be all about that.
yeah, I agree. It's just it's on top of all of that, they have their own issues of fucking every wrestler they have just about needing to spout something off, which then triggers their fan base to spout something else off, and then it just snowballs from there.
The breaking of the fucking Triple H chair. They have embraced the. They just at every corner they embrace a rivalry that the other side is like, just fuck off. You don't hear WWE constantly talking about AEW. You hear AEW constantly talk about WWE and trying to compare dicks at every fucking moment. And I don't want any part of it. I'll never watch the show because of it. Because
It's
juvenile bullshit.
gets infuriating.
You can tell the honeymoon phase is wearing off because they're getting less and less fans showing up. Period.
I'm sorry.
I think I think the problem is too with AEW is there's cracks in the seams of leadership and how it's being run and what's happening with it. It's not just the constant dick measuring. It's the fact that they have their own internal issues, and in my opinion, their own internal issues are way worse than what's going on in WWE. Yes, you have the occasional superstar getting hit with like sexual fucking accusations. That happens in every sport.
Yeah.
Yes, you have the worst was Vince McMahon with the fucking NDAs. But after that, AEW has been falling apart at the seams, from what I can see.
Man, it's
They've
only,
been shooting themselves in the foot.
they've only been in existence, what, 5 years? Not even.
And they've had
4 years.
as many controversies as fucking any other, well, WWE over the last 5 years, which is
Well,
an established sport with
I
millions
applaud
of people.
I applaud them for the attendance.
Yeah, they have nothing to be ashamed about, but it's just the fucking.
It's the way they go about it.
There are certain things that I will applaud them for. But these are the things their show, it's about what I'm being given. Do you really honestly truly think? You think about where you're having this event. And it may sound like this goes for WWE too. I'm not just fucking both fucking companies are fucking stupid for this. It's turning people off from fucking wrestling. Everybody wonders why the ratings go down. It's because of stupid shit like this. Why do we have to be in competition when you're I understand you're trying to be WCW so much. They're trying to be that. They're trying to beat WWE in the ratings. They're trying to relive the 83 weeks. That's what they're doing. They're trying to find that something that will get the channel to turn.
I get tired of the mentality of what it feels like more often than not is AEW being like, we won the silver medal, and then they're like in your face, take a look at this gold, take a look at this gold medal. Like it's the feeling that it's like it always has. They're in competition, and nobody else gives a shit.
Yeah, exactly.
But they're gonna constantly tell you all the time how good they are and what they're doing, and it's like, shut the fuck up and put on a product that's watchable and stop presenting these fucking clowns bleeding every 2 seconds. I don't give a shit. Make me what storyline you have that anybody cares about? What storyline? Who's your world champion? I don't know. I don't care. I thought it was MJF, but he's in fucking mid card for some reason.
Oh, he's tag teaming right now. That's why.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's what you do with your fucking world champion. You turn him into a mid card fucking asshole. Fucking horseshit. The company sucks. The fucking leadership sucks. The product sucks. They put on good numbers, but you know what? You don't see me here applauding fucking the Kardashians for making big numbers.
That's my point. I don't care about the numbers. Give me a good product, and then if you start giving me a good product, instead of letting the fucking the what's the term you use? I might have said it a couple of times, like letting the fucking run the
asylum.
Yeah,
Inmates
Yeah.
in the asylum.
the inmates are running the asylum, and that's exactly what he is allowing them to do, and they do it every week, and you can see them just mocking the fuck out of him.
The thing is, the easiest thing.
And I'm talking about the EVPs, and I'm not talking about Kenny Omega. I'm talking about those two fucktards that think they're fucking Shawn Michaels and Marty Jannetty.
Michael Jordan.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
I'm just saying, I am so sick and fucking tired. This is why I hate AEW. Because I have to sit there and watch the Young Bucks run around like we ran the biggest fucking draw. He's not the biggest draw in wrestling. Roman Reigns is. And if you ain't seeing it, I don't know what the fuck you're doing.
It's a bunch of delusional fucking backyard wrestling cunts. But I will say with AEW, yes, it's the inmates running the asylum. Yes, they have, like, in today's current age of wrestling, it's not hard to put on a good wrestling match.
No,
Because all the talent is super athletic. They know how to go. And you know you don't need a good storyline to put on a good wrestling match. But you need a good storyline for people to fucking pay attention. So if I could watch AEW, WWE, New Japan, ROH, TNA, and all of them put on good wrestling matches, why would I watch any one over the other?
Yeah.
Right? If you can't build a storyline that's worth paying attention to, then shut up with your 82,000.
I agree, 100%. This is my argument. Thank you for arguing that for me. But I applaud them for putting up those numbers, but I don't care.
Yeah, but it's like applied. Like I said, it's applied. You can apply any other shit program for putting up big numbers.
Now you're shitting.
Like, are you, no, but like, like, okay, I'm gonna applaud, like I said, the Kardashians for putting up huge watch numbers. The product is fucking shit, and people are garbage, rotten mind idiots that watch it.
You are correct.
So the numbers to me don't mean fucking jack shit half the time.
No.
I'm glad he's upside down.
I just wanted to see he was paying attention.
Oh, I did want to say, if we were going to get off the wrestling bandwagon, Nia Jax.
Yeah, she made her return.
I saw I watched Stevie Richards talking about her return, and he's like, "This is the worst thing I've ever seen in my life."
I don't know.
Yeah, but what he said made sense. He's like, she comes in, she does a Samoan drop to Raquel, who just came back from injury on the outside, which means nothing and does nothing. And then she gets in the ring and is a super unsafe worker when she fucking bonsai drops Rhea Ripley in the stomach, chest area.
Whatever. Don't care.
I wanted to just kind of pivot. I did want to say I don't really give a shit about Nia Jax. I really fucking don't. But the one thing I want to mention.
Most girls. Okay.
I know, that's why I let her go. So.
Big cargo.
No, I was actually say. I think we talked about this before when we were talking the CM Punk stuff. But I mean, do we think that there's a possibility? Do we honestly think at this point, now that WWE is now part of the under Endeavor?
Mm-hmm.
He did, and CM Punk is known to stir shit up. He's known to get people talking about him, of course.
That's all he knows how to do.
He did say on some commentary show that he was doing recently. He said, I'm free for about 2 months," which of course would pencil him in for potentially showing up at Survivor Series in Chicago. Do we think he's going to show up?
If he does show up, I hope he fights Nia Jax.
I do not want. Look, I am not a Punk guy. I never cared for him. I don't think he's as big of a draw. He's a douchebag. He's. If anybody wants to say he was innocent of all fucking charges of what he did, you think he's not gonna fucking try and do this shit in fucking WWE? And I know WWE's won't let him. You know, you won't see any of that shit in WWE. But come on, man.
But like, the thing is, for me, if he shows up in WWE and he does the same shtick he did in AEW, where it's like, I left that company because they didn't treat me right, they didn't protect me, I didn't feel safe. That you're doing that in the company you said that about. Like, where are you going?
Yeah.
I honestly don't think he's gonna go up in WWE.
I hope he dies.
He doesn't.
He could crawl back into his hovel for all I care and just never resurface.
Yeah, just go be in that fucking that show nobody watches. He was in that show called Heels.
He was also in a movie, but I never saw.
I
just don't like. I think he's a guy that he values himself as Hulk Hogan.
No shit.
When everybody else looks at him more like fucking
Jeff Hardy.
I mean, the only thing that people are waiting for in like the fans in WWE, the Punk fans, they're waiting for him to come back and pipe bomb the WWE.
I don't give a shit.
Yeah, if I was WWE and I had money to burn, I was willing to bring him back for an event, I'd have him show up in the Royal Rumble and never come back ever again.
I didn't give him a chance to do anything. Just have him come in and go right back out.
Yeah.
You know what I would
do? What I would
do? I'd like go up under the rafters. We're gonna put you in a harness.
Mm-hmm.
Cut the line.
And you pull on this cord, not this one.
We're in Discord.
That's what I think of CM Punk.
Yeah, I don't care to ever see him again.
Yep.
I think he's right now, especially, he is horrible in the ring.
He is.
Yeah.
And the only way to use him on the mic is to fucking turn him into a problem, which he already is.
Speaking of problem, what's up with Russell Brand stuff going on?
Hey, I actually have something. So this motherfucker,
right.
You have people accusing him. We're going back to #MeToo now. This whole, we're doing this again. So apparently Russell Brand had. Well, didn't you share this?
No, Gina shared it, but I did watch the video. He had two separate media entities, one being a newspaper, the other one being an actual journalist for an online company, send him letters saying that there are these women who are accusing you of some very heinous actions. And he wanted to put it out there that he is refuting these and saying that they did not happen. And yes, that his time in Hollywood was one of that of promiscuity, but he always made sure that it was consensual promiscuity.
It's
So-
weird because. Oh, sorry, go ahead, JP.
Oh, so I have the consensual promiscuity, and I shared this in the chat.
Please don't read the whole thing. That's a
I'm-
lot.
Is it? I didn't think it was that much. Which I put in this one. Just give me a hot second.
A few moments
There it
later.
is. But it's not. The response is great to me. That's not too much. I can read that. I
Oh
think.
God.
In 2006, where are my glasses?
Yeah, good luck.
No, I already ate
I can
this
read that. Where
beginning.
are my glasses?
In 2006, I refused to have sex with Russell Brand.
Oh, I know what you're talking
Yeah,
about.
right. So this
Did you?
Samantha, whatever her fucking name is,
Oh, the
said
woman.
this.
Okay.
It was
Yeah,
me.
and she said, and this is her quote. This is her tweet, and I quote: "There was a lot of heavy petting, and we were both down to our pants.
Who calls
didn't
it
pressure
petting?
me. He
Gross.
didn't pressure me when I said no. This is somebody that was this girl.
Uh-huh.
He wasn't angry or abusive. Everything that happened was consensual. I stayed the night in his flat and felt safe."
Okay.
I quote, no, hold on. Just a little bit.
What happened after that? We both got down to our pants. We were heavy petting, and I said no. Did he fucking like make pancakes or some shit? Like what the fuck do you do after
I don't
that?
know. But
She
he
saved the
said-
night.
She went on to say that they had both gone to sleep and
Yeah, he
she
just
left the
he
next day.
just he I've done that. You know what's happened. I made out with the girl, and you want to go a little further, and then she says no. I'm just gonna be like,
Yes.
okay, and I guess I just gotta go. I do that with her. I'm just saying.
Wish you'd do it
So
with me.
if she says no to me, I get up and go make pancakes.
Get up and just jack off in the
So
corner and
I
cry.
think
Why
you know
is so
you
much
just
pancake mix
don't
in
want to
her
be in that
videos?
situation. I think he's that kind
What
of
else you can
person.
do?
This is the kind of person that she's saying he is. He just got up and he just okay. I can respect that, and then that's it.
Now, the big telling part for me of this whole thing
Mhm.
is he left Hollywood years ago. He
Yes.
stopped doing movies and TV shows, and he started doing his own podcast where he talks about the world being a better place than it is right now. And he has he's gone on several platforms where he's disputed why are we trusting people that are basically making money off of the things they're telling us to be scared of.
Yes.
He's done a lot of those things where he's controversial, and in my opinion, I don't think I would like him as a person, but I'm a lot of times I'm aligned with his point of view. He's a bit more like black and white than I would be, but
Yeah.
it gets the idea across. Why is this coming out now that he's
Yeah.
starting to gain?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Why is he when he's starting to gain people watching him and things happening for him? Why didn't it come out when it happened in Hollywood? And people are like, well, people are scared to report shit. I'm starting to get sick of that fucking answer. In all honesty, in 2015, 2016, during the Me Too movement or whatever, I don't know when it started, but I'm sure it was around there, where
Right.
people were like, if you got molested, this happened to you in Hollywood, speak up. They were scared then. They were so scared then and throughout from then until 2023 they were so scared when people were being celebrated for coming out saying that they were fucking molested or sexually abused, especially women. You were scared then, and only now in 2023. It doesn't make any fucking sense to me. The time frame doesn't add up. I'm not saying he didn't do this or that. I don't know him personally, and I don't know what he might be capable of, but it's very coincidental And it's not just this. It's been it's there's and anybody that kind of like doesn't adhere to whatever cultism going on in mainstream media is lambasted as doing something terrible. Look what they did. Donald Trump, don't like him, don't care about him. But again, I'd be blind if I didn't say they were witch hunting him.
Oh yes, absolutely. This has happened with every person that has shown themselves as even just slightly right winged. Every person that has made this known about themselves has all of a sudden ended up with a sexual assault accusation against them. And the same thing happened to Joe Rogan. Same thing happened to Donald Trump.
Well, Joe Rogan brought up using a fucking horse. Yeah, and then it was like, oh, you're the worst person ever. And then now they're like, actually, it does kind of work.
So if things are if this story came out and things were consensual, then what the fuck's the problem?
Well, the problem is, okay, so what JP is quoting is not somebody that came out and said they were sexually abused or assaulted by him. It was someone that has had a sexual encounter with him. That when they said no, he was okay with it. And she goes on to quote another one of her friends that had the same issue with him, or not same issue, same experience with him, where he didn't push the issue. It's basically a character witness on Twitter.
Oh, okay.
Whether it's true or not, I don't know. But I think why he brought it up is the reaction to somebody saying, I had this interaction with him and he wasn't pushy, wasn't rapey or anything like this. And the hate that followed that.
Yeah, I saw that. I'm like, what?
Being
I am.
How dare you share the experience? Like,
I'm genuinely confused.
It's somebody in that, and this goes for a lot of people, that as soon as the accusation hits, guilty.
Yeah.
Guilty of everything.
Yep.
Yes, and that's what this girl is explaining. Essentially, he is guilty because he was accused of. Apparently, accusations are now the.
They have been for a long time. They've ruined several careers. That even and people are like, well, just because they can't prove you guilty doesn't mean you're innocent. I'm like, yes, it does. It's like, so you still did the crime, but you got away with it. And everybody's mind that doesn't. It's like, okay, so if they can't prove you're guilty, you're what then? You did the crime and got away with it. Is the mindset, which is horseshit.
This all started with the O.J. Simpson thing. Think about it. Everybody's he committed these murders. Just because he was wrongfully, the wrongful death suit that he lost. Oh, that just convicted him. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. Just because you want to sue
convicted him is when he came out with a book afterwards that said, if I did it, this is how I would have done it.
But I know, and I'm not disputing that he didn't do it.
I'm saying people do get off with heinous acts. It's very possible. But you either have to have trust in the justice system or not. And it's a flawed system. It's a pile of shit. But at the same time, it's the only system you have. And if you disregard everything it says about legality, then why even have it? And just kill everybody that gets accused of anything. Right. Just do that.
No, and I 100% agree with what you're saying. It's stupid.
I just find the fact that everybody that gets hit with these defamation lawsuits, especially sexual conduct acts, I'm pinpointing, fucking him and Trump that got hit huge. We're kind of like, what were they doing at the time they got hit? Speaking up against the fucking current government in America.
Yep. No, you were. Yeah.
So when you're gonna solve a crime, you have to look at fucking coincidences.
Okay.
And that's what I see going on here. Like, how many times they're not attacking fucking. They're attacking a certain type of political belief and a certain type of person that talks that has an audience. That's what they're attacking.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how I feel with this. I mean, they might come out that he fucking raped 18,000 women. I don't know. But all I'm saying is, there is a through line between all these accusations, especially ones that hit, the mainstream media. Russell Brand, for the most part, I've seen him on Twitter and stuff. I don't follow the guy at all.
Yeah.
I've seen him here and there. I didn't think he was this fucking huge pundit or anything like that. I'm like, yeah, it's some of the stuff I'm with him on, other stuff. I can see a reach or two. But I mean, it's like as soon as this accusation was hit,
Didn't think he was
front and
number one
center
on the
news
CIA.
everywhere. Yeah, it's like, oh, he's the most important person now.
What?
Pay attention. What?
Like, no more ISIS members? Oh, anyway. What was the story that somebody posted about the video game developers?
Oh man, this is a big one for video games. It was Heather posted it, but Unity, which is a video game, I think it's like a system that's used
Yep.
to like build games.
Yep.
And I don't know the entire story. You might need to look it up, but it was
Man, I'm too high.
basically it had to do with charging game developers that use that system anytime the game is purchased. So it's not only like
Wait a
charging them
minute.
to use the system to make the games, it's charging them a certain percent or amount anytime someone buys it.
What the fuck?
Yeah, it's like highway robbery.
That's so dumb.
Yeah, Unity
Yeah, what the fuck?
Yeah.
per install.
hmm
But-
Which doesn't even make any sense because you can delete something and install it 8 times. Call of Duty.
That's bad.
To be clear, it's not us that would be paying directly.
No, it's the game developers.
Developers that would have to pay. So in chain reaction, there we would end up having to pay more to cover their payment for using this game engine.
That's so fucking stupid. Would you like to purchase WinRAR?
Basically,
No.
No, but it's not even like I can understand the outrage. In my opinion, I think games make a bunch of money. Forget about that. The fact that if you're developing a game, you have an unknown cost attached to using that engine, which means nobody's going to use the engine. But what they're trying to do is implement it for games that use the engine already, which is fucking horseshit in my mind.
and a lot of it is the free mobile app games that gain money off of ad revenue that fucking go through that. So they would end up having to fucking close shop.
Well, there's more than that. There's a lot of the virtual games that use it because of its, I guess, ease of being used. I'm pretty sure the Cuphead was one.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Hollow Knight was there. RimWorld, I never played.
Rimworld?
Subnautica, which is huge. Looking through a list of the most. Pokemon Go. That would have been the amount of mobile users that downloaded, deleted. Come on.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like it's a cash grab that of epic proportions that would just basically it could bankrupt certain developers
I was about to say.
if
At
implemented.
the rate that certain games went, it could have bankrupted all of them.
So yeah, it's a really fucked up thing. But like the gaming industry right now is in, and I feel like the thing that's killed pretty much every industry I liked is money and the greed
Microtransactions.
for it. Like
Yep.
no, but like man, sports I hate sports because of money. Too much money in it. I can't trust it to be factual or real or anything. There's just too much money. Too much money in games. Too much money in movies. Where I mean, come on, we've seen. Every movie needs to be a franchise for some reason,
It does.
and and every show needs to be a franchise.
Yep.
It's what's gonna kill. I think The
I'm on
Boys.
season
The
28
Boys
of,
is
Teenage Mutant Ninja
spreading
Turtles.
out. The Boys is sort of spreading out and becoming the thing they mocked.
Yep.
So
Great, huh?
it's gonna end up killing pretty much everything that you like.
I know. Anything else we have on the list? Let me see here. Oh wait, I'm such an idiot. Hold on, I got one more thing on the list. Where is he? I gotta get a good gift for him. No, damn it. Gotta find a good gift for him. Yeah, let's go with this one. Ashton Kutcher.
Again?
In a follow up with the Danny Masterson shit.
Okay.
So he's in some hot water, as it would seem.
Of course he is. Go ahead.
I'm asking.
I don't know. I didn't raise this point.
God damn it!
I know nothing about it.
I know
think it might
that
have been Gina
I know
or
that he
Heather.
had he was working with some organization and had to. He basically dropped out of it because of the backlash from Danny Masterson. It was like, well, it's kind of what you get.
Again, didn't we talked about this last week?
Well, we talked about that, like him in general.
But why for defending Danny Masterson?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I said this last week. What if Danny Masterson did not tell them? Didn't I don't understand why we have to hate on Ashton Kutcher because he was associated with Danny Masterson.
I'm not hating on him. I'm just saying it was a stupid idea. I think if he didn't
I think
know,
it's a
he
stupid
shouldn't have said
idea for
anything
them to.
publicly.
I think for them coming out.
Witness.
So yeah,
okay.
this is where I'm like.
Witness. That
So
it had nothing to do with him defending.
Well,
or agreeing with
first of all, legally, that shit should not be able to be shared with the public. But the first thing I'll say is like, okay, so you go back to fucking any of these serial killers. You go back to fucking John Wayne Gacy, and the neighbor's like, he always seemed like a nice man. He used to help me plant my flowers or whatever.
what?
And then they're like, then that goes online, and that person's life is ruined. Does that make sense? Because the knowledge base you had of somebody is just that, the knowledge base. They weren't sitting front and center while he raped fucking 16-year-old.
Yes, that's my point. And so don't hate on the guy because he was a character witness, or a stander-by.
Well, no, it's today's day and age where you either have to agree with me or you're the devil.
Right.
Yeah,
no, I get that culture.
Yeah, I hate that shit. No, I will be.
I'm talking about Ashton Kutcher. I'm not saying he may very well have been involved.
Yeah, but if they're gonna go public, okay, the thing is, it got shared. They had to go public with something. If they went public and they're like, okay, he should get the chair. He is a terrible person. Then they're lying, because their truth of their interaction with him is exactly what they said. Unless they were involved in fucking raping people back in 2012, who knows? But people will make that assumption. They'll jump on that bandwagon and be like, you have to demonize him because everybody's demonizing him.
It's just in the previous conversation, just like in the conversation before the one that Heather, wanted to talk about. Well, I'm sure she wanted to talk about all of it, but it's the same thing.
Yeah, with Ashton Kutcher.
Not whatever we were talking.
I just don't understand why people can't accept that, like, your experience comes from your experience with someone. You're not around them constantly. The judgment of people that are far off in the distance is like, well, he did this terrible thing in the past, therefore you have to hate him. He might have done something terrible in the past and he's going to pay for it now. But if I didn't meet him when he was doing that and I have no knowledge of him doing that and he was always a gentleman and friend to me, I have no input that's going to demonize him. Unless you want me to make it up.
Yeah. It's stupid.
At the end of the day, they're only going to be able to judge Masterson on what they knew him as when he was on set with them. Or
even or like when they hung out outside of the fucking work environment.
Right.
But like I said, they're not like taking front and center seats of the accusations. Like, if you're gonna demonize them for their experience with somebody, you have to demonize everybody that can't say this person was terrible. And that's why I brought up the whole thing with John Wayne Gacy. It's like, oh, if the neighbor only had good experiences with them, are you gonna say the neighbor should be killed and should be demonized and should lose their job and everything? They just didn't experience the dark side of that person.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't know. It's horseshit.
I don't know, man.
I mean, the problem with today's society, the court of public opinion has become more important than anything else. And when everything is blasted all over social media, everybody just becomes a judge, jury, and executioner.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I don't know why we can't all just let the process, and this is even my argument from this previous one, why can't we just let the due process? The due process has already been done for Danny Masterson. I get that. But just because
Danny Masterson is a rapist
just
by law.
because Ashton Kutcher was a character witness for this guy, he is automatically involved.
Yeah, he's a character witness, not a witness to the event. And people can't. The
Close.
general public is fucking retarded.
No,
Honestly, they are so like combined. Even if we're all
somebody, I literally said this to somebody on social media, and I have to go and find it. But I was probably like last week, and I've tweeted a lot since then.
You tweet?
Oh, you know I do. Ashton
He tweets more
Kutcher.
than I do.
I'm muted.
Ashton Kutcher.
happy birthday, Ganja.
He was a character witness. He was like, lock up Ashton Kutcher. I'm like,
Why?
what did he do?
The cooch?
And he's like, because he's associated with Ashton Kutcher. And I said, what do you mean? He was a witness for him. Okay.
This is like
He was a character witness. And I literally said, do you even know what a character witness is? And he goes, yeah, it's somebody that is there when the crime happened. I'm like, you are the dumbest motherfucker I know. That is not what that means.
I'm telling you, like individually, you might have an IQ of like 90 to 120 as average for people. Combined, it's 5.
Can't wait for jury duty tomorrow. or this morning.
Everybody is fucking brain dead when they get into a group. Evil dies tonight.
Yeah. And that's the one thing she got right in that fucking movie was that fucking
movie was
herd
terrible.
mentality.
Oh my god. I don't have anything else. Is there anything else you guys wanted to jibber jabber about?
No, I mean,
Did I have something else? Felt.
I'm looking. I can't. I just know that Pat
Mar-
McAfee walked off his set after incident with Stephen A. Smith live on live TV as viewers praise host. I would love to watch this fucking video because this is one guy that I want to see get fucking punched in the face.
What were you saying
Him
there?
and Skip Bayless used to do a fucking show together.
Stephen
And
A. Smith
they didn't talk about-
is
They didn't,
a
talk
fucking.
they didn't talk about the sports of the day. Them two literally argued over which city was better, New York or fucking Dallas. For fucking
Stephen A.
2
Smith,
hours.
I just don't like as a person. I can
He's
tell
an
already.
idiot.
Yeah.
So is Skip Bayless. Skip Bayless
Yeah.
said the Packers will never beat the Cowboys ever.
They're
again.
both. They're
And
both.
then
It's
they
two
fucking
idiots
beat them.
talking to each other.
He is. Oh my god. Him and Skip Bayless are two of the shittiest people I know.
Yeah. I actually just don't like. I anybody in like media, I think fucking gets warped into being a yes man, an idiot. It's just like, oh god. You always have to have a hot take. You know how many hot takes I had in my life? Every time I go to the toilet.
Same.
I mean,
Other than that, very few hot takes. You know what? I don't think this should happen. Most of it's just like in the middle of what should happen. If you
Right.
live in extremes, you live in fucking retardville. I'm sorry, I can't.
I agree.
I don't think there's much else to talk about, Connor. I know you got to get up and do your civil duty. I just got a fucking
The good news
mail
is,
for that.
the good news is that the courthouse is only 10 minutes away, and I'm really hoping that like on the back of you have to fill out this like pre-survey thing, and I'm really hoping that my line of work, that it's like it's I don't want to get into too much and give too much away about what I do personally, but I'm hoping
Just
that
show
whatever
up naked.
you know what, that's actually not a bad idea. They
Cover
didn't say
yourself in
anything about-
chocolate. And just be
didn't
like,
say anything about a dress code.
how you doing, brother?
No, we will never. If he shows up at the courthouse wearing chocolate and nothing,
Yeah.
he's going to the funny farm. They're gonna take him.
He'll turn from juror to fucking inmate.
I'm chocolate with some nuts. So I'm hoping that like the case is something to do with like what I do for work, where it's like fuck, get out of here. But I'm also
Yeah.
the last time
Man
I
attacked with dildo. Sounds like my work. I have to leave.
I must go. My planet needs me. And they just morph into the dildo and flop away in the
Just
air.
Turn into 5 multicultural kids.
Oh my
Captain
god.
Planet.
Great. Earth. Nope. wind. Yep,
You know
fire.
what? That's
Yep.
the one thing we never saw. Captain Planet turning back into kids.
Well,
Does he actually? Does the
Wait,
kids turn
Hold
into
on.
him?
No.
No, the kids
no.
do not turn into him. They summon him with the power of their rings.
But
Yeah.
you know what? Once they summon him, the kids, you never see the kids again.
Yeah, you
What are
do.
you
Yeah,
fucking
you do.
talking about? Yes, you do.
I don't think so. I don't think so.
Dude,
he
Captain-
lands and talks to them after the
He
fight.
stands like this and talks to them.
Captain
then-
Planet was only in the episode for like the last like third of the episode.
Oh god, I thought they transformed into. I thought they anamorphed.
No, God, no.
It would've
I'm
been
his
funnier if
dick.
But my
they
favorite.
did
What
You
was
know
that?
they were thinking about making that into a movie?
with
I'd
Don
watch it.
Cheadle.
Animorphs?
No.
No,
Captain
Captain
Planet.
Planet.
Same thing.
So I'm also. Does anybody remember Captain Pollution? His evil counterpart.
I do.
I do not. I remember
So
Captain
so
Planet.
Captain Planet was made up of Earth, Wind, Fire, Water, and Heart, right?
Yes.
Captain Pollution was made with toxic evil rings, which I just fucking die laughing at this. Ready? I had to look it up. Super radiation, deforestation, smog, toxic, and hate.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Why does he look like fucking Sabretooth?
Oh, Captain
They
Pollution?
basically
Like,
used
like
the
a
character
ginger
model.
Sabretooth.
They basically borrowed the same character model. That's why.
Well, they
All
basically-
did was,
they
like,
reversed
we're
his
gonna change his. Yeah, we're
they-
gonna reverse his colors
Reverse
and
his
change
colors.
his hair to
Yeah.
be Wolverine.
Just wait. They're going to become part of the fucking Marvel fucking
God, he's got the
universe.
biggest fucking butt chin in history.
Yes, he does.
Those for reference, Captain Pollution.
Right. No, I did watch those shows. They were on Fox.
No, Captain Planet was on Turner.
Was it?
Yeah, you know why? Because I remember there was a Robot Chicken skit about it too, where he dressed himself up as Captain Planet.
Yeah, I remember Captain Pollution.
Yep.
Looks like he's got fucking pus all over him.
He
that
does.
just looks-
Those are sores.
That just looks horrible.
He does.
But anyway,
So yeah, you can watch it all on HBO Max.
Oh, really?
yeah, 'cause it's
Yeah,
hard to turn.
Turner.
I'll have to see if it's on there.
Now, now I'm gonna have to look up myself too and see.
I'll do it. Don't.
He's our hero.
We're gonna take pollution down to zero.
Yeah.
You know,
He
it's
never
funny.
did that.
I asked for Captain Planet rings for Christmas from Santa, and they never made any like fucking merch.
No,
That's
they
just-
didn't.
Santa just shit on my
And
chest.
so my dad got like fucking my dad got like 5 rings from like the little like quarter crank machine at the grocery store. Like, these aren't Captain Planet rings. Let's see. It is
threw them in
on.
a
Oh, it's on
recycling
Hulu.
bag.
I'm sorry,
Throw
Captain
it at
Planet
you?
is on Hulu. What?
Nothing.
My God, they do sell them. They're 60 fucking bucks.
Oh, they do. Holy shit.
They
My
have them
puppies
now,
are
yeah.
for all of them.
Hold
We-
on,
we
hold
should
on.
get them and wear them.
I need to
I'm
see.
gonna choose heart.
Oh shit, they do
That's
sell them now.
bad.
They're made out of a plastic. Ironic that you're buying these.
Yeah.
To
Come on, Captain Planet, you piece of shit.
oh, I
You've
did.
turned into the thing you hated.
I did want to throw out one other like I did want to throw out one other random thing that before we wrap up, just because this made me think about this with shows that
Hated.
we.
I know.
What?
Anyways, nothing.
God damn it! Stop! I'm too high to catch up. I did see that we are getting Rick and Morty season 7. What, next couple of weeks?
And I'll be okay not to get it.
I don't know how to feel. I will say that, like, on one hand, they are being.
It's already been declining, and now that they got rid of the fucking main guy, it's gonna be terrible.
I was gonna say, what do you think they're gonna do? Because they've been really like actually kind of smart about hyping up this without showing any
I hope
clips.
they
or...
I hope they change it so that it's completely in Spanish, and the actors are like Spanish voice actors.
Well,
That'd be
they
fucking
haven't.
great.
They haven't.
Give me that.
I wouldn't be opposed to that.
If Morty turns into Dora,
You know what I wouldn't be opposed to?
taking a piss because my dick is about to fucking explode.
What, JB?
I told you 3,000 times go to the fucking bathroom.
Listen, you need to tell me because I can't go by myself.
I'm kind of retarded.
Mr. Worldwide.
You have to go pee? What the fuck?
Well,
Big
we'll see.
grade school.
We'll
Put
see
up
how
my
it goes.
hand.
But,
And it just released all over the teacher.
on that fun note, I guess we're good, right? Nothing else to talk about this fine evening. I think we're good to wrap up a little early.
I am good. I think I'm good with stories. There's nothing.
I'm gonna take a piss.
Hedda?
Oh, it hurts to move.
No, I'm good.
Alright. Easy peasy night. Thanks all for tuning in. Appreciate it as always. We will be back Wednesday for our 1,000th episode or 1,000th video stream, whatever you want to say, our 1,000th piece of content on this channel, which will be a lot of fun. And then we'll be back, of course, for the weekend. HGGM presents Death Before Dishonor. Another huge pay-per-views have been fucking crushing. I don't know about you guys, but I feel like the pay-per-views have been pretty fucking good. Even when they dip a little, they're pretty damn solid. So looking forward to night 1 and 2 of that, and then we'll be back again next week with another No Bucks Given. Yeah, and all that good stuff. Thanks to Basement, who's pissing right now, so he can't respond. JP and Heather for joining us, and all you cool cat and kittens joining us in the chat too. We saw Frederico Alpha Aru Shinchu, Tim Lone Wolf, excuse me, and of course Kratos. Thank you all for tuning in. Appreciate it. Check us out on your favorite podcast platforms. Rate us, subscribe, like, share, all that fun jazz. We'll see you guys very, very soon. Until next time, peace the fuck out.